are you guys doing this good old Monday morning? All right, so now I'll be able to see your comments. Let's see. Whoa. There we go. Testing, testing, 1, 2. There we go. All righty. I had to switch it over. I don't know why it keeps changing to the log. Nope, it's on Logitech. Let's go to here. Testing, testing, 1, 2. All righty. Now my audio should be good and not wobbly and wavy because, yeah, I don't know what happened there. All righty. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and get to sharing. All righty. Can you guys hear me now? Everything should be okay now. One second. Mothers, I tell you. All righty. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let's share it out. All right, so copy. And then we're going to share. All right. All right, give me a second. I just need to share this out. And make sure that you guys also share it out as well. Oh, excuse me. And if you have a Facebook group that you would like for me to add to my list of where I share it to when I hit go and I hit share, inbox me or email me the name of your group, or just send me the link so that I can join the group and I'll be able to share the videos directly there, or you can just hit share also. All right, so let's get to getting. All right, so I want to kind of get it in real, get done. We need to get done so that I can go and finish up some stuff. I am Shakia, the professor of Silaholics Anonymous, honestly speaking, otherwise known as HS Inc. 365 and 365 Creative Academy. I do live videos like this in classes. Don't really do as many pre-recorded videos. I like to teach live. I like feeling like I'm in a classroom. Right now, you guys are in my virtual classroom. That's how I like to teach. Back in the day, I did a lot of pre-recorded. Now, I just like to answer questions in real time. For some of you who wonder, like, how the heck do I do this? I consider this to be my job. If I don't get on here and help teach, I haven't done my job for the day. This is literally my job. So whether it is getting paid through Facebook or YouTube, when you guys utilize our links, when you buy stuff from our website, that pays the bill. So like, this is something that I love to do. It's my job, because I constantly get asked that question, like, how do I do this and go live all the time? And I've even had some people that came off kind of rude. You don't have no regular job? This is my job, honey. And I love what I do. So welcome to my virtual classroom. On Mondays, we focus on Silhouette Studio. So whatever questions you guys have in regards to Silhouette Studio, you can post those. Normally, I kind of make it like, if it's something related to sublimation. It would be nice if we still had some vinyl people out there. Like, where are all of my vinyl people who might have questions on designs, how to set up layering or anything like that when it comes to just vinyl or paper crafting. I still communicate with y'all. Just because we sell sub ink and paper, we still sell pigment ink and things like that. And I still teach how to use vinyl. So if you have any questions about any of that, please go ahead and drop it in the comment section. We'll be on for a good 45 minutes to an hour answering your questions. The more questions you guys have, the more informative this session is. If the questions slow down and we don't have questions for like a 1 to 2 minute period before the 45 minutes, we'll go ahead and shut it down. No sense in keep you guys here if you don't need my help today. Maybe you might need my help later on this evening. All right, because I will be back later on as well. Okay. That just so happened to pop out to me. She says, I wish I could pay you daily. Great job. Thank you so very much for that. She's like, I love me some vinyl. I don't like pre-recorded videos. For me, I feel like, just teaching in real time, pre-recorded videos sometimes can cut out the good stuff, which means like cutting out the mistakes, and we can learn from our mistakes. You can learn from mistakes that I make. So maybe when you have those hiccups and things like that, it makes it a little bit easier to understand. So I definitely prefer to teach live. I'm vinyl mostly. Okay, so maybe that's all I had to do was ask where y'all were at, and y'all coming out of the coming from behind the bushes. Okay, good. We got some vinyl people in here, because I started to think that y'all started to consider me nothing but sublimation, and I'm definitely more than the sublimation gal. Okay. Incredible morning. Vinyl girl check. Yes, please share your tips for perfect layering. I've had my machine for a year but can't break away from my Cricut. Okay. She's like, me too. My silhouette is under its cover. All right, let's see. Let me go back up to the top. Incredible morning. Hey, girl. Hey, Lori. Good morning. Hey, just say. Incredible morning to you as well. Incredible morning. Hey, princess. Chrissy, how art thou? All right. Sub and vinyl here. Okay. Ordered tacky paper last night. Can't wait to use it. Already received confirmation. Yes, he is in the fulfillment center fulfilling all of your orders from Saturday after 11 a.m. So all the Saturday orders, all the Sunday orders, and the orders that we got earlier this morning. He is in the fulfillment center fulfilling all of those orders. Incredible morning. All right. So let's see. No questions as of yet. How was your guys' weekend? Did you guys enjoy? If you watched the Super Bowl, did you enjoy it? I am a football gal, so I like sports. I did enjoy the first half. It was kind of interesting. Really good defensive game. Was kind of disappointed no one scored the second. And halftime, of course, was everything. My thighs was hurting. I was out of breath. I was one where I can see. Well, I'm not going to say that. I knew part of Kendrick Lamar. Like I mean, I was here for it, but I did not understand why Kendrick Lamar was on there because, like, I don't consider him to be of that era when it comes to hip hop. So I wasn't quite sure why he was there. But I rocked out anyway. I know a little some of his, but not like, I felt like the one person I probably really wanted to see probably would have been Ice Cube, and I could have rocked out with that one. And also with them being in California, like I don't know if there's beef or whatever, but it would have been nice to have some Bone Thugs on there. But Kendrick Lamar, it's like that was the only part that was like, I mean, I liked the choreography and whatnot, but I could have done without that part. But everything else, honey, I was here for it. Monet Tejada and all her cheeks hanging out. Yes, honey, I was here for it all. So I definitely enjoyed last night. I was on the fence about who I wanted to win, but it was great either way. Once Odell got hurt, I was definitely rooting for the Rams at that point. I'm like, let it not be in vain. And then I found out another player, his wife, went into labor fourth quarter. So his baby was born on the same day. Like that has to be like the greatest, like that's gonna be like the most awesome like birthday ever. You're gonna always remember that. Like it's the day that your father won his first Super Bowl. So like that was kind of cool. But yeah, after Odell got hurt, I was actually rooting for the Rams, although it also was great. I didn't want Tom Brady to be the only person that won a Super Bowl in their stadium. So I was actually, I was on the fence about I really wanted the Bengals too, because they've had like rough, franchise, like, their whole, like all their seasons, but I'm actually glad the Rams won. So yeah. She said I said the same thing about Jit, meaning Kendrick Lamar, or just you're saying about Kendrick Lamar. Let's see. So, where are we? Thank you. Super Bowl halftime was amazing. Mary did her darn thing, and to see 50 Cent as a surprise was everything for me. They actually had dropped that a little bit earlier. My cousin said that like somebody leaked a little bit, or I guess from when he was at rehearsal. Okay, speaking of which, here's the part that you can't really see on TV, right? So I'm waiting for you guys' questions to come up about Silhouette. So until then, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. But this is a Silhouette Q&A. So definitely drop your questions for Silhouette. But when 50 came hanging down, right? And I'm like, okay, was he holding himself up there like the entire time that Snoop was like the intro when Snoop was rapping? Was he hiding somewhere? Because that little space didn't seem like it fit the new 50s, body size. But I was trying to figure out where in the heck was he hiding that during that whole time. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. Like I kept trying to figure out where was him hiding at. Yeah, that was awesome. New baby Super Bowl championship. I only watched the halftime show and I loved it. I agree. Ice Cube would have definitely been good to see perform. Yeah. All right. So, question: when you do a mask with a logo, do you put the logo on the left or the right? There really is no like definite place like it has to be. That's totally up to you or the client. Yeah, you can put it on either side of it. Just depends on which side they want it on. I just don't know where to start. My mind is so cricket based, it's hard to switch. Um, okay. So Is it that you're wanting to switch machine wise because you have a need to do larger printing cuts, or you just want to be able to design more, like design bigger and be able to print bigger? What is it that, like, when you initially got or thought about getting Silhouette, whether it was just the program or the machine, what was your original intention in getting it? Oh, wow. Really? Did not know that one. Look at all these little fun facts. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Question: how do you do an all over print in Silhouette? I do have a very, very, very detailed video. There was an older one and there is a new one that is up now, on how to split up the design. But ideally, you want to have business edition so that you can save it as a JPEG. I was about to say something else. It came out like chi, but you want to be able to save it as a JPEG first, because you cannot crop down multiple layers. So if it's a bunch of things there, it's just not going to crop properly. So you want to first make it a JPEG, and then you're going to create the boxes and things like that and crop it down. So search either Silaholics Anonymous or Honestly Speaking, all over print or full bleed, any of those, like any of that terminology. It is like a tie dye. You'll see the thumbnails like a tie dye shirt on there. And that is a very, very detailed video for that. I already have one on that. Okay. Okay, same here. A little overwhelming to learn a new software. I meant like on both left and right or just one side, what would look right. Again, I've had some to where I've had things on both. I've put different things on one side. So I think like one of the ones that I have, I don't even know if it's over here. I have like my logo on one side and it says doing it big on purpose. Um, I've made my sons where it was like the 5,000 role models logo on one side, the hands on the other. I don't know if I've ever done it where it was just one logo on both sides of like the mask that is separated like that. But yeah, it's again, ask your client what they want. Okay, so you have the 570 as well, doing all over prints. Now, I can't help you when it comes to print settings, but you still will need to flatten it. And then for you, it'll be a little bit easier. So instead of doing all of those boxes like I did, you would just do a 24 by however wide box, do it underneath, move it up some so you'll have a little bit of overlap, make a duplicate, crop the top, crop the bottom one, and then go from there. So you only have to do two boxes and then just tape it together. All right. So yes, large print and cuts. Designing for me, knowing the blade pressure is kind of confusing as well. Um, Now blades like that can be that is tricky. I don't use any of the Silhouette's preset settings for anything. Depending on how new or old your blade is, like how sharp it is, will determine the cut settings and how deep you cut, like what your blade depth, how much pressure you would need. Because if it's like a dull blade, you might have to use more pressure. A lot of people don't like to change out their blades. I also can't, I'm not a fan. I almost said a different way. I'm going to try not to be such a negative tone in it, but I don't prefer to use the auto blade. I use ratchet blades. So I use the adapt like in my 4 and my 3. So my 3 you don't need the adapter, but the 4 you have to have the adapter because everything is read by these little magnetic strips on the back. So you put it in here, the blade, and you just have to manually adjust this. I find that with any of the auto blade machines, to me the ratchets just work so much better and cut better than the auto blades. I feel like the auto blades just don't put enough downward force whenever you have it set at auto blade. It just doesn't put enough downward force for me. So I prefer this. And maybe it's because I started with the older machines and not the newer ones. For some who started with like the Cameo 3, Cameo 4, it's kind of hard to not think about using the auto blade, but I started with the original and a 2. So me, the regular standard blades are the better one for me. Um So I don't have an F570, but it'll be exactly the same as the other one. You're just going to split it and then you're going to send it to print. That's it. Same exact concept. You're just splitting it. With my video, I think I did one where it was split into like 3 sections. You'll just split it into 2 sections and that's it. Oh, she posted the link for the all over shirt. Let's see. Yep, it's that's personal preference. That's up to you. Does Silhouette design have a way that you can see what computer? Wait, I'm gonna see. So have a way you can see what computer you can you finish the rest of your question because it cut off. Is the video for installing the drivers for the yeah, it's up. I mean, install the drivers is just going straight to Epson's website. So guys, this is supposed to be Silhouette questions, not general questions. But to install the drivers, you go to Google, type in Epson 2720 drivers. It's going to take you to the website. You click on it, you download it, you follow it. So it's really you really don't need a video for that. Epson kind of walks you through it. They, I think on something the paperwork that comes with it tells you to either to install the CD that comes with it or go to their website. And that's all it is to install the drivers is type in Epson 2720 drivers. It'll take you pretty much right to that page. It'll say Epson.com, something, something / support, something, something else, whatever. You might see the word driver, click on that, download, install. That's it. Yeah, I don't know of a lot of content creators who have one that's doing like detailed videos for it as far as sending it to print. But really, I mean, you don't really have to have anything that's specific to that printer. Just designing and just setting your design page. So, let's see. Well, I have my son's Black History project on the screen. So let's say I wanted to put this, I wanted to be able to print this and cut it out, right? We'll split it up. So this is 20 by 30, right? There's a bunch of layers here. So of course, I can't crop this the way that it is. So you take it, you go file, save selection, save to hard drive, and MJ Steam Black History Month JPEG. We're going to go here. I'm going to change it to a JPEG. And okay. And then we're going to go file, merge. All right. So there is the flatten. This is what it means to flatten. So it's the version that is all one piece. So you just make your box. And let's say if I go with 24 and my height, let's see, this is 30. So I'm just going to go 15. I'm just going to split it in half. Although it can go technically longer than that with 24. And let's just rotate this way. All right. So I would make a duplicate of it, tab it over some so I can have overlap. Or let's see, we can actually do now because it's going to be a little bit longer. So let's do 24 by, I don't know, let's just do 20. All right, so now I'm going to duplicate it, move it back some, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just hitting my arrow key to do that. You're going to make a duplicate of all of this. So I'm going to just select it all. And I'm going to just duplicate it again to the right, because then I can go straight through the middle and delete those because only 2. On this side, crop. Select this side, crop. And that's it. So now you'll put it on your design page and then print. So for me, it would be, let's go 20 by 24. You'll put it there and send it to print. Move the next one there, send it to print. Does Silhouette have a way you can see which computer I have Business Edition on so I can deactivate it? No, it's not going to tell you. It doesn't know your computers and which one has which. It's just going to tell you how many installs you have. So you'll have to go to your computer and just go to help. Well, once you open it up, you'll see if you have Business Edition on it at the top, and then you can just deactivate it if you need to retrieve that, or just contact Silhouette Studio and tell them you need to have it reset. Might take a few days because you have to communicate with them via email, but just contact them, tell them that, it's not working. You ran out of installs. Maybe you ran out of them because your computer crashed. Sometimes it just disappears. They're going to try and get you to upgrade to version 4.4, because with version 4.4, you don't have to worry about having a certain number of installs, because it will automatically put your Business Edition on there once you log into your account. I personally don't use 4.4. I'm not a fan of 4.4. It has too many glitches. So if they try and convince you to go to 4.4, just let them know that your computer is not compatible with 4.4, and they will reset the number of installs. They'll give you like maybe even just like the one back of each one, or sometimes they'll give you back all 3. Let's see. So yeah, flattening, it means take it and turn it into a JPEG. I asked a question and put it in caps to be easier to see regarding Silhouette at 10:10. I think I was overlooked. It was regarding the tracing. Wait, it was regarding tracing the letter A could be bend of arm with opening. Wait, huh? And I definitely did not see that. So that did not come up. All I saw was your one that said Happy Valentine's Day. I didn't overlook anything. There's nothing else here. No other questions posted from you here. But I don't understand your question. I think I was regarding tracing the letter A could be bend of arm with opening. I'm not sure what that means. When printing a large image to press, what is the best way to divide it? Okay, I just showed that. You're very welcome. But like I said, that video that she posted, that breaks it down. So you don't have to kind of go off of this fast one. I really break it all down and why you have to do certain things, when you're saving it, what resolution to put it at. So check out that video. Princess Diamond posted there, or just search Honestly Speaking or Silaholics Anonymous. I posted on both channels. Silaholics Anonymous, full bleed. Honestly Speaking, SPINKING, the way that it is on here, full bleed, and you will see. Or it's the same thing also for oversized. So let's say if you are doing a 16 by 16 pillow, and of course let's say you only have 13 by 19, print 13 by 19, you would use those same methods to take that and split it up so that you can have your 2 pieces for your 16 by 16 or 15 by 15 pillow. Silhouette Studio allows you to design as large as you want. I just did a small banner like for my son's project. So the top of that is actually 36 inches long. Well, it's for a foam board, so it's 30 inches long. So I printed that. It's like 11 by 30, is what that is sized at. So you can design up to any size in Silhouette Studio. And if your printer allows you to print that big, you can send it to print. Now, it might take a long time to spool, but you definitely can send it to a large format printer directly from Silhouette Studio. Wait, that's a different one. Which code is that one? Because the one you did earlier was a different link. Post the newer one, the one that has, unless that's from the other channel, but post the one that has the one that has the tie-dye shirt, because that's the newer updated one that accounts for the overlap. The first one that I did not account for the overlap. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to print that big with the 7720. The widest that you can print is 12.95, but you can print up to 47.24 inches long. So that's the max size that you can print with the 7720. When tracing, wait, the letter A, if the triangle doesn't trace, how to cut it out after the fact, or bend in the elbow, hand on hip. Are you trying to show me is this a specific picture you're referring to? Because you're saying tracing the letter A, but then you said something about an elbow and hand on hip to cut out the hole. I have no idea. You said tracing the letter A, and then does it trace? Are you trying to ask me to use an A, or like, is it from, are you asking about my video where I use the word piece? Is that what you're referring to? How to remove the inner area? Okay, so if you can't click on the link, just go to YouTube and search my channel. If you click on the link in the description, that's it'll take you right to my YouTube channels. And on your computer, you can just type in, all over, sublimation all over, full bleed, and it will come up. Or just simply go to YouTube, type it in, and you'll find it. Oh, see, that was a now. See, I all that other stuff you were talking about made no sense. How to cut out the inner area. That makes sense. I'm like, I have no idea what you're referring to. All right, I guess I can use all right, let's see, what image can I use? I'll bring in something. Um let's see. Um let me find an image here. Well, alrighty then. Okay, let's close that out. Let's open up a new one. Let's go over here. Let's go to downloads. Pretty sure there's some sort of picture over here that I can use. But I do have a full video on removing the internal parts of designs. Let's see. Nickelodeon. Oh, here's Black Mamba. All right, let's drag this over here. All right. So we're going to trace this. So like areas right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here. If you just do a trace and detach, oh, also right here, won't cut out. So we're going to go over to trace area, place your box. You start off with, oh, okay, let's go back over here. You start off with a trace and detach. So we're going to put the box. It's going to be in multiple steps. We're going to up our threshold. Okay, you don't have to have everything colored in if it's going to affect how it's going to trace. You just want to make sure that there's no like all the edges have yellow touching it. All right, so then we're going to go trace and detach. Then you're going to click on this and move it out of the way. I'm going to delete the background. Even if you have a PNG and if this area was transparent, it still will not cut. So once you double click on it, you're going to see edit points all the way around. You're not going to see edit points in the middle sections, okay? Even if this was a JPEG and that was clear, you would not see edit points and you need to remove it. If you're trying to do a full-on print and cut, although it's transparent on your screen, if you printed it on white paper, that area will be white because the paper is white and you need to cut it away. If you put it on Jet Pro 3G, if you put it on Easy Subly, you have to remove those areas, whether it is white or if it is transparent. Okay. And then you're going to do a secondary trace. So we're going to go back. Well, I'll show you another way. To me, with that many spaces, it's the more difficult way. Now we're going to go back to trace, put our box around it, and I don't even have to do the whole thing. I really only need to focus in on where those inner parts are. So about there, I'm going to increase my threshold. And I just have to make sure that yellow is surrounding the areas that I want to remove. We're going to go ahead and hit trace. You're going to click on the trace. You'll know this is why it's good to not do a full trace if you don't have to. Because my selection box is now small, I know that I have just that trace part selected. We're going to fill it with color. Right click and release compound path. If you're new to it and you're not quite sure where the areas are, you can take your transparency down so that you can see through it. So you'll know exactly what parts you want to kind of click on to remove it. You're going to hold down Shift, click in all of the areas that need to be removed. You keep your Shift key held down as you click through all of these areas. Once you have clicked on the last space that you want to deselect, right now, everything is selected. When you hold down Shift and click, you deselect it. It won't be a part of the selection anymore. You don't have to do this next part. I am doing this to show you what was selected and what was left behind. Or if you're new and you want to do this to kind of practice, you can. So I'm going to make it red. So see, all of this turned red, but these little areas right here stayed green because they are not a part of the selection. I clicked on them to remove them from being a part of the selection. What is left? That is red. I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard and it is going to go away. All I have left now is my trace and detach image and the green sections that I left behind. You're then going to put your mouse at the top, bottom, doesn't matter where you start from. You just want to drag over all of it. You want your marching ants to go all the way around it. Try and keep it closer to it. There was like a little piece over here. That little piece over there in the corner, that's like right there, will cause an issue. So we're going to try and make sure we keep our selection fairly close to our design. You're going to go over to modify, which is this icon right here, and you're going to go subtract. That's it. It's removed. Now, when you double click, you have edit points all through there. And then on this one, he had a little bit of white at the top. So we're going to double click. Well, it's already on there. I'm going to delete these edit points so that I can bring back this part of the top of the snake, because that's actually supposed to be there with the white. So I had to bring that back, because if not, it'll cut a hole in his head. The other way of doing this, which to me takes a lot longer because you can only do one section at a time. If you come back to right here, trace, you must have designer edition or above. The first way that I did it, you can do that if you have the free version of Silhouette Studio. The way I'm going to do it now, you must have designer edition, designer plus, or business, because they're the only ones that have the trace by color. So we're going to go trace by color, and we're going to go inside that area, take up our tolerance. You can go all areas, but see, it's going to pick up around it too. We don't want that. So you have to do a single area. You're just going to go trace and detach. But you're going to have to do that for each section. And keep coming back to trace by color, increase your threshold, trace and detach. So if you prefer to do it this way, it works as well. This is not my preferred way of doing it. And normally when I'm teaching like the first way. That way works better for me. But if you feel like you're not comfortable with trace and detach and subtracting and all of that, then this is a method that might be better for you. And then for these really small areas, I'm going to zoom in, trace by color, increase my threshold, trace and detach. And we're going to move up to this section. Oh, I forgot this section over there on the other one. So we're going to go there, trace and detach. Now that all those have been, oh, I forgot about right here. So when you have a lot of places, this takes a lot longer. Move this out of the way. You can go in and delete all of these. Here, I missed this little spot right here. So we're going to go back to trace, select trace area, place my box, increase my threshold until it's around it, trace. Click on just the trace, fill it with color, release compound path, hold down shift, click and click, delete everything else, select it, modify, and subtract. There we go. So 2 different ways to do it. How do you make the edges smooth for cutting? You would adjust your edit points. So if you have something and it's not like to your liking as far as cutting it out, you're going to have to go in and refine it with your edit points. So if I double click, so let's say like in here, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm probably going to just take a big chunk of this, delete point. Let me add line color to this so you can see it. Double click. I'm just going to take my edit points and adjust them myself. If it's not a super high resolution image, I typically don't use trace and detach. I prefer to manually trace. That is the way that most Photoshop, like photographers, when you're really Photoshopping, someone's, taking a picture that someone took of a food item and they're going to create a menu. Most times, like they really want a really precise cut around it, they're going to take their pen tool and go around it. The magic wand is great, but it's not perfect. So, and I'm old school Photoshop. So even in Silhouette Studio, I prefer to go in and actually draw it out manually to remove it. That's just me. Well, I did it fast the second time because just to show it in real time, but you can go through it a little bit slower as you're learning it. You will definitely get there. You're gonna say you can never do that fast. You practice it more than once and keep doing it. Don't try to move on to a different image. Like, let's say this was the image you were practicing with. You would take this one, you would trace it out, do all the steps, get it all done, boom. Trace this one again, do all the steps, boom, trace it again. I recommend doing the same image 5 times before you move on to a different image. But yeah, I like for something like this, if I really want it to be precise, I would literally go around the entire thing with my edit points. I wouldn't even use trace and detach, like depending on how I was using it. I teach that to my students. We went around a unicorn, and then I know Patricia, she did a video and she was like, "Yep, I finally moved past unicorn. You can, move past that. You don't have to do it just for the unicorn." She ended up doing a manual trace with a totally different image. So I do teach that in my academy. But right now, that part of the academy is closed. We are at 46 minutes. So I'll give it a little bit of time. There are between the 3 platforms that I am on, there are 71 of you guys watching. 71. I know some of you are probably just using me as like background noise, or you're at work, you're just kind of listening in, hoping that someone asks that question that like you really, really need to know about. So if you are able to ask a question, ask it now. Now is the time to ask those questions. If I don't receive a question within like the next 2 minutes or so, a couple questions, I want to have to go through this again and say, all right, we've slowed down. So right now, post your questions. If you that way I can kind of go through them. If not, I did see it kind of move. If there's a question there, and it's only one, that'll be the one that I answer. And then we will go ahead and close out today's session because I don't want to necessarily keep you guys here for an extended period of time for no reason. Can you use an afro lady? Wait, can you use a afro lady into a heart shape with her hair outlining the top part of the heart? I'm not sure what you're asking. Like you want her whole face to look like a heart, or you want to crop her into a heart, like a JPEG image? And I'm not sure what you're asking. You're on Facebook. If you've seen something and that is, you're asking that based off of a picture that you've seen, like for inspiration, if you can drop that picture, that would be great. But I'm not visualizing what it is that you're trying to do. I don't do one-on-ones anymore. Um, uh, because most times, like with my one-on-ones, I find like, well, unless like let's say you want something specific and I'm coming to learn how to set up, like I have these elements for a cake top or something like that, like it has to be something specific. I don't do one-on-ones just to generally like just to go over Silhouette Studio. It'll take a lot of sessions. This is not something you're going to be able to learn in one single session. I have essentials to Silhouette Studio, I have group classes, but I don't do one-on-ones because it would be a little expensive. That's why I like group sessions to kind of cover my time for an hour or 2 hours versus just doing a single session. If I do a single session, I'm going to have to charge you like $200. Incredible morning, Octavius. How art thou? One of the few gentlemen that join us. You, Leo, Jesse, Lamont used to be on here. I haven't seen his name as much anymore, but welcome, welcome. Let's hit that thumbs up for this free Q&A session. Definitely do that. And as far as Photoshop, do I use Photoshop? Yes, I have an essentials to Photoshop. I'm not really your Photoshop. I don't like, it's not one that I'm like full on comfortable when doing like all the designing in. There's a lot of great people who teach Photoshop, Kimmy, Innate Lab, Damien over in Custom Print, Custom Design, Custom Print Life. They can teach you like details in Photoshop. I get you started and really help you understand like the tools and where they are in their general and basic function. Now, how you use them within a design will always, differ depending on the design. I do, however, did not realize they were on private. I do have four videos on, honestly speaking, that are great beginner videos for Photoshop. Shows you like how to add layers, like layer styles for text, how to fade off the edge of a picture, and I forget what the other one is. And then there's one where I show you how to use the clone tool to edit a photo, and basically what's truly called photoshopping a photo. There was like a date stamp going down his shoulder, and I show you how to use the clone tool to clone around it. Now you can also use there's also another tool where you can basically take the surrounding area and it kind of fills it in. That's a whole nother story, like a whole nother way of doing it. I like the clone tool. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You're going to have some graphic artists that prefer to do content like it's based off of your, what does it say? Content. Lord Jesus, well, I can't think right now. When you go and you do it and then you do the fill, it says content, something area. I can't think of the word, or you can use the clone. I can do the same thing in Silhouette that I can do in Photoshop. For the most part, yes. Things like layer styles, you're not going to be able to do. Let me see. What can I show you that can be done in like in the most people think of Photoshop as being like how can I say, like technically go back over here. This can be done like some people would go and design this in Photoshop or Illustrator, right? Most people don't think of going to Photoshop to design stuff like this. Most times you're looking to do things like, let's see, open. Let's go view large icons. All right, so let's go here. This was for a vest that I had to design and then print and press for the seamstress to cut and sew. I've already answered that, love. I answered that in this video, and Princess also posted the links. I'm not going to go over it again in this particular video. So you can watch the playback of this or go to the videos that I mentioned in the playback. I have a full detailed video on that. Now, this background, I did do that part in Photoshop. However, I can technically do that in Silhouette. I just chose to do it in Photoshop because it was already set up and it was easier for me to change the colors. But like all of this stuff, the whole layout of this, like all of this is done, even with this part right here and how detailed, like all the different layers and the drop shadows and stuff to make it look like it has depth. This is, this is, oh, duh. This has a line on it. So there's that one with the line, like a stroke on it. You have a shadow, you have an offset, you have another offset, and then there's shadows and things like that in there. So you can go and do a bunch of different layering right in Silhouette Studio. It does take a little bit more work because it does not like Photoshop where it's the line style and it's going to keep that. Once you go in and you convert it to path, it's like it's stuck to that shape. So let's say if I wanted to change that word from grad to dad or something like that, I would have to do all of those steps over again. So can you do some really great things in there? But you're going to have to repeat steps all over again. But all of this, even down to like, tracing and detach when it comes to the picture, the color, like all of that, this can be done right in Silhouette Studio. All of this is done. And then you can use things you can't create fades like this in Silhouette Studio. So you use PNGs, ones that I've created that fade in Photoshop. You bring it in as a PNG, and now I'm able to have that soft shadowed look versus a vector shadow. This is a true drop shadow. And then when you have this one and it is just the transparency is lower, this is called a vector right here. This is a vector shadow because it's not feathered out, but I can change the strength of that by changing my transparency. In Photoshop, this is called opacity. All right, let's see. There's that one. That was the one for her tumbler. Here is the one for her vest. Same exact images, just laid out a different way. I even did some photoshopping right in Silhouette Studio with the warp tool on this particular image. And so let's close that out. And let's see, file open. Her stole. I'm rude to my subscribers. I am? Oh, wow. Huh. Very funny. That's one thing I'm definitely not. Oh, wait. Maybe you're not meaning me. Maybe you're talking about somebody who I referred. Oh, I had to think about it. I mean, I took that kind of personal. My bad if you weren't talking about me and you were talking about somebody that I referred. And hopefully you weren't talking about my girl because I mean, I don't know. I don't ever consider her to be rude. But if you're talking about me, I know I'm definitely not rude. And anyone that I mention, I don't feel like they're rude either. So everyone, personal taste and things like that. So like this for this stole, I've done stoles like that. Then I've done like some really, really detailed ones. So let's go back to over here. Let's go here. Even with these. So this is a video. I have a chip bag academy that's coming up. So this was some examples of like different chip bags that I've done in Silhouette Studio. Warp tool really isn't like, I mean, that's a last resort. It can bog down your system if you don't have like really good RAM and memory and all that stuff and make your computer lock up, and then your design page will just like your Silhouette Studio will just shut down. So be very, very mindful when using it. I try to do like whenever I'm using the warp tool, I try to like separate just that particular part of it or like that image or that section, put it on a different one, and then try and modify it. If you end up having a bunch of stuff on the screen or on that design page, it's going to try to read all of that stuff and then it just bogs it down. It just gets super, super confusing for the program. So it's like I don't use it often in Silhouette Studio. Like if it's like a quick edit, I can, but I don't really mess around with it too much because it's annoying as I don't know what. But yeah, all of these were done. Well, not this one because this isn't mine. This was an example of when I went. That was when I ended up doing it this way. But all of these were done in Silhouette Studio. So it's just a matter of layering. I don't use Photoshop for my chip bags and labels and stuff like that. I do everything in Silhouette Studio. And these are all like everything here is just layered. I mean, even with the little highlighted piece at the top, you see drop shadows on there, backgrounds, like you just bring it all in and you layer it. I created this whole thing in Silhouette Studio, tracing, detaching, all of this was created right in Silhouette Studio. Here is another one. You're just using fill patterns for these. Trace and detach. So this hat is the exact hat that's on here. I use my edit points and stuff to cut it away. So where that goes up there. If I were to click on this, look, he's right there. So you just have to know how to use all the tools within the program. This bow tie is the same bow tie that's right there. If I were to click on this and pull it up, guess who's going to appear? Him. You can go very simplistic and, very, very beginner friendly with it. This was also a beginner friendly video that I did. This right here, I created the bottom portion of this. I mean, actually, all of it was all created. Like this wasn't a starter template. I literally created every single element of it. Now, this is just a background that I filled in, but the layout of it, even with the letters, you're not going to find these letters anywhere. I created these letters. Even all of the highlights and shadows on it, I created each and every part of it right in Silhouette Studio. This is one. Again, you can't do drop shadows in Silhouette, but when you have, actually, no, this was on there. I thought I did that drop shadow, but I guess I did it. But it was just a background, and then Wonder Woman is here and layered on top. So you can do a lot in Silhouette Studio. Where's which class? This is all a culmination of learning the program. Right now, my bachelor's program, which teaches you Silhouette Studio, like in detail, and teaching you how to combine all of these tools, that is closed. Now, the master's program is open and it will allow you to kind of see how I design, how to put tools together, like how to mix and match tools and functions. That is open and you can join that. We meet twice a month. The second and fourth Friday for the first quarter. The next quarter, it'll go to the first and third, and then it'll switch again, just so that it's a little, just trying to work with people's schedule. So January, February, and March sessions were second and fourth Friday. And we're on for like 2 hours the first week. The first session is more of a, hey, these are all the things that you can do in Silhouette Studio. And just kind of showing them like small examples like we just did the memorial one. And then on the 25th, we're not going to go through all of those designs because we just cannot. There's no way to learn it within 1 or 2 sessions. My students are with me for a year. My programs run a year because you're not going to be able to learn all of that in just a few sessions. This is a funeral program. I literally did all of this in Silhouette Studio. Now, my essentials to Silhouette Studio, if you need to start there, you're just going to go to our website, hsinc365.com. And if you type in, or if you go to 365 Creative Academy classes and playbacks, you'll go there and you'll like scroll, show more, you'll find the essentials. Now, I don't know why I'm opening this because it's probably going to bog down the system because it's a huge file. Whenever I'm doing funeral programs, I try to not have it open, like other stuff open, because this is now a lot of graphics that's open up in Silhouette Studio, and it's just not designed to handle this much graphics. We utilize it in this manner, but it's not meant to be used in this manner with all of these heavy graphics. We're going to give that a minute because it's just going to take forever. But yeah, it's not made for it. Can you make it do what it do? Sure can. But know that it will shut down on you. It shuts down on me all the time because it's just not designed to hold that much of like heavy graphics. And for every picture that you have on there, that's just adding to the size of the file. So here on our site, if you go to 365 Creative Academy classes and playbacks, you're going to see quite a few classes up here. All of these are the playbacks. I don't have any current classes as of right now. Although, oh shoot, we have a whole class on Saturday. Sublimation for beginners. Oh wow, that is on Saturday, and I forgot to put it on the website because of Super Bowl yesterday. Duh, Shakia, and I was working on MJ's project. But we do have the sublimation for beginners session on Saturday, the 19th. I'm going to put that up today. Ooh, so you'll see a lot of older dates, and basically what you get now is the playback. You're paying for access to the playbacks. All of my classes are shot live via a live Zoom audience, and you get the like I said, it's not edited. You get the full on. It's almost like you were sitting in the classroom yourself. So all these different things, if you are someone that wants to go from Cricut, you're trying to understand Cricut design space. Well, you use Cricut design space, which you want to understand Silhouette. This is a good crossover because I compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, and show you what you're doing in Silhouette in Cricut design space, how you do that in Silhouette Studio. It's not the full essentials of Silhouette Studio because there are tools. If Cricut can't do it, I'm not going to show it to you. But then Essentials will show you everything else. So if you want, you can get both. I mean, if you are a Cricut user. So yeah, text effects, this effect right here and how this looks, even the shadowed part right here, all done in Silhouette Studio. And if Octavius is on here, that's what I was saying. I wanted to do one of your templates because you can go and give it that like glass look or like that reflection look, not glass, reflection. You can do that in Silhouette Studio as long as you use the fade bar. So this is essential to Silhouette Studio. A new one is also coming up for this one. It is a long class. It is 4 hours long. It is not a step-by-step because it'll take forever. So I go through each of like the tools, what their basic functions are, show you just like how to find it, how to use it, and things like that. We have Q&As, like if you have, okay, well, what if I need to do this, but it's not a step-by-step. It's not like doing a project to learn Silhouette. So I don't really necessarily teach from like if it's a class for let's say you're trying to cut something out, most of my classes are focused on learning the design program. Yeah, see, it's not even opening up. It's stuck at 28% because I had team too much going on. Oh Lord, did I save my son's stuff? Jesus. Let's see. Let's see if I'm able to save MJ's project because baby. Shoot. I knew it was going to shut down. It shut down on me. Review all changes. Yeah. Quit without saving. I knew it was going to happen. I had way too much going on. But anywho, I'll go back to that. But I teach more so Silhouette. As long as you have a computer to watch me or a mobile device to watch me, if you're wanting to follow along, you can. If you don't have a second monitor, I'm going to tell you right now, it'll be a lot harder to follow along. Although the class is streamed when we are live and you can kind of watch it on a different like location, that one is delayed. So if you try and follow that and then come back to where we are, you're going to end up being behind me. So unless you have like, if you want to follow along, I do recommend having a second screen. And what else was I going to say about the classes? Oh, But unless it's a class like for a cake topper, or I plan to do some classes for vinyl and layering and all that stuff. You won't need your machine. I really don't do a lot of like hands-on classes for machines. And even when I do, it's not like you would have to have your stuff cut out beforehand. Or if I do a session like that, it's not all done in one, because it's a lot to try and teach you the program, then have you cut it out. Some people, I've tried it before, someone will have issues with their print and cut. And so we end up spending way too much time for them trying to figure out their print and cut. And then it slows the rest of the class down. So a lot of the times when it's like project based, I am just going through the steps step by step. I allow you to ask questions so that you can have those questions on the recording when you go back. But yeah, going where I'm kind of waiting for all of my students to cut their stuff out and then put it together, yeah, that has proven to be not such a fun experience. So you cannot download my classes, but you can view them on my class portal. You cannot download them, but you can view them as many times as you need. How about the font that looks like diamonds? I can't create them or find them. Um, Now that one is, if you want, you technically can create it. All of that really is a lot of times is like prisms of colors. So if you want it to look like a diamond, all you have to really do is get a single one. You're going to have to fill it in yourself. But most times it's like a background, and they're just cropping, like they're just filling it in that area. So if you find a background that's like that diamond look in the individual diamonds, you just crop it. That you'll be really surprised at how that's actually made. Somebody somewhere made that pattern the first time, and it's a lot because it's like squares of like, so for a diamond you're gonna have like maybe not squares, triangles, and the way they're arranged, you're gonna have triangles in about 6 different shades of gray, all the way to like a super dark, almost black. And that's all it is. It's all vectorized, and then that vector piece is saved as a JPEG or a PNG, usually a PNG, and then it's just repeated. And they'll add a sparkle here or there, and that's all it takes to create those. I don't. So I'm printing directly from Silhouette. I don't have to save it um as anything. I print it directly from Silhouette. I'm not splitting that up. I only did that for demonstration purposes, but I don't have to split that up. I'm actually going to print the top section. It's actually really printed already by already. So I print the top section, I'm printing the bottom section, and they fit on my 13-inch paper. So I don't have to do anything with saving that as a JPEG or anything like that. Oh, you said I think I saved it right before I did. I'm pretty sure I'm not. I opened it, so I know it's saved, but I had to change. I realized I'm so mad. Let me see. Even, are you right there? Can you bring me that picture, the printout of MJ's assignment? Oh, you were telling me. Oh no, I saved it as a JPEG, but I don't use it as a JPEG. Like I just print it from regular. I wanted the actual file. So when I did it, I forgot to change his information. It was the same one as Frank Green's. So I have to go in and change his. So now I have to reprint this over again. Not a happy camper about that one. And then I have to reprint it over. So yeah, I just print it all out as one. And I don't have to save as a JPEG. I just print it straight from the Silhouette file. And this is printed on my Epson 7720, not my sublimation one. It's my pigment ink one. Oh, wow. We are past an hour. We are at an hour, 14 minutes. It's time for me to go. What do you suggest to design in? I'm an Adobe girl. I can't teach you how to design in Canva. I don't do Affinity. I don't do Inkscape. I don't do GIMP. I'm an Adobe girl all day, every day. My programs of choice is Adobe, Silhouette. I'm a Windows gal and I'm an Android. So that's just a little rundown of me. That's kind of how I roll, when I'm doing my design and stuff. But Photoshop or Illustrator. I used to use Corel Draw. I'm trying to get back into that, but um, I'm addicted to Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. But I do have Corel Draw, but I don't do Affinity. What type of paper do I print on? It's glossy paper. It's on a big old roll. So I print on banner paper. That's those who've been with me for a really long time know that's like literally the only thing that I don't ever share. Those who took my banner class, they know where I get my paper from. I have never in 7 years, I have never said where I get my banner paper from, exactly what the brand is, anything like that. Only those who have been in my banner class know where it comes from. I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars buying paper that wasn't so great, paper that was great. Maybe once we have our own paper, of course, I'll tell you about that because I want you to go buy it. But, that is one thing where I'm like, you want it, research it. All right, let's see. All right, let me open back up. Hopefully it's there so I can retype all this stuff back out. Well, I don't have to retype all this stuff out. Hopefully it's saved after I change. I know it's save, but I added their pictures to the I added their pictures to the little white box so that I can put the information on top. And that's the part where I'm like, I don't know if I signed. Oh, good. It did recover it. Sometimes this works, sometimes it does not. So I'll show you the recovered document. It's great when it works. When it doesn't work, it's a bummer. But here it pops up and it says recovered documents. So when it's shut down, Silhouette does do an auto save. So a lot of times if you have to shut it down, it will save it. See, like here, the Danielle Mills stole. So that's there. So it definitely did save it. I'm grateful because I didn't want to have to go back in and crop. So if you can kind of see, there are secondary pictures um, of the person like inside this, and then his summary will go over this. So you got Corel Draw for the rhinestone function in Silhouette, and for for the rhinestone world, but never used it. You don't need it for Silhouette. Now for the rhinestone world, their program or their plugin needs Corel Draw, but you don't need it for Silhouette. You can literally do everything that you want to do for rhinestones as far as making it a vector file. You can do all of that in Silhouette Studio and then just apply the rhinestone feature. And yeah, so that's that. And I use Corel Draw, not Corel Draw. Only reason why I downloaded Corel Draw is to be able to help others when it comes to the Roland eco solvent printer and how to add their cut contour lines. And someone said you couldn't add perforated contour lines. I don't know, like from Corel Draw, but I do it all from Illustrator. So, oh, she says yes. I figured that out later in life. Okay. All right, y'all. I like being on here, but I don't want the video to be too long. My next video will be on just general Q&As. If you want to come back and ask another question, this is the one that is for Silhouette. Like I said, this is my virtual classroom. My job is to come on and teach you guys here and do kind of like, my Q&As. It's always mixed and jumbled. And if you like what you see here on the free live ones, come on over to our academy and or sign up for the updates for what classes are coming up. and sign up for a class or 2 or 3 or 4. All right. What is today's live about? As listed in the comment section, we were learning Silhouette Studio, and it was our live Q&A for designing things in Silhouette Studio. But we are wrapping this up now. So if you have general questions, including Silhouette questions, but it's more of a general one, come on back. If you're on Facebook, so I'm pretty sure I'll be over on the same place on Facebook. But for YouTube purposes, I will be on Honestly Speaking, not Silaholics Anonymous, if you have any general questions. Uh, Also, guys, don't forget, and I did forget it in the beginning, this live broadcast is brought to you by the letters HSINK and the numbers 365 and 0, which are our signature letters and numbers for our amazing product line. Honestly speaking, our motto is to be incredible. We sell summation ink, summation paper, pigment ink, the syringes, needles, cartridges, chip resetters for the ones that you can use it with. Of course, you can get our classes there. We have templates and files and all that kind of good jazz on the site as well. So check out our website. All orders placed before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time go out the same day. If it's after 3, it'll go out the next day, Monday through Friday. If you are not sure what you need, our collection right here takes you to whatever you need for your particular printer. So if you're just looking for paper, go there. If you have any of the printers listed under the blue one, you're going to click on there. You have, and this one is actually wrong. I have to take this off. 3820 uses 822s, not 812. So I have to adjust this because it's actually wrong. So I need to change this particular thumbnail. But like all of your eco tanks, all the stuff is here, no matter which eco tank you have. And then this is for the 7840, 7820, 7310, and C7000. This right here actually uses 822. I have to take that off. But yeah, check out our website. Our Change the Game summation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. Our heat tape is non-staining and non-marking. I think it may be like once or twice. I'm not sure if they just had too much heat, too much pressure, but I have never really had anyone that said anything about having yellow marks on any of their items, other than maybe like 1 or 2, and we've sold hundreds of rolls of heat tape. Okay. So again, the site is hsinc365.com. Join our Facebook groups, Honestly Speaking, and Honestly Speaking, 365 Sublimation, and Silaholics Anonymous Silhouette Help. If you need help in between live videos, go ahead, join our Facebook groups and post your questions. Be as detailed as possible when you're posting your questions. Pictures also help a lot when you are posting your questions in the groups. All right. All right, guys. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.